We, the people.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of We Three People, the podcast for the people. This is Candace here.
And your boy Ray in the building.
And Javier. Oh my god, that was so urban, Ray.
We need some energy in this bitch. What's up, y'all?
What? You don't love that
Calm
new
down.
urban American theme
Shut
song
up.
that we got going on?
He's so
Shaking
mad.
that ass. By the way, hit up my homie Julio.
If my name was Eminem, you like it?
Fiverr.com/Julio-G25.
Julio in this motherfucker.
Fiverr.com/Julio-G25.
Does this guy pay us? Is he a sponsor?
He is a sponsor.
All right.
All
I
right.
tell you?
Can you guys let me do it now officially?
Go ahead.
All right. If you guys want a cool theme song for your podcast or YouTube channel, please visit Julio at Fiverr.com/Julio-G25.
All right, guys, before we go on,
For $5.
before we get started.
Thanks, Julio.
Before we get started,
$5.
Dre has a... oh, shit. Before we get started, okay, go.
Fuck? What are you doing? I'm going to keep that too. First of all, nobody's called me Xavier in years.
like 16 years.
I have no idea where the camera... All right, before we get started, Javi has
Jamal,
an announcement.
Jadizzle,
Stop.
Barack Obama here. What the fuck?
Listen, it wasn't me who messed it up the first time over there.
It's my computer.
Before we get started,
Okay, before we get
Javi
started,
has a big
what,
announcement.
Candace?
Javi, go. What's your announcement? What do you
Fucking
really
Ray
want to
fucked
tell us
it
all
up. We
about?
recorded half an hour worth of material.
Sorry,
And
guys.
it's fucking
It was so good to you
Windows
guys.
XP
You'll never
motherfucking
know.
laptop decided to shut down on you.
I got this laptop at the pawn store. It was
It's fucking still running Windows
$45.
95.
Oh my gosh.
Windows 95. He's connected to AOL right now.
I got
That's
it
why he's
offer
recording
up.
this.
Quit
The
hating
world
on me.
will never know how
my
glorious that
God.
20 minutes was.
Well, anyways, I fucking fucked up my hair this week, guys.
It's his big announcement.
I like to trim it, once in a while, because if it gets too long, I got that curly, nasty hair. But I decided to cut it too short, so I was like, oh, whatever, I'll do the buzz cut. And for some reason, I cut it too low, so now my front right of the head looks like I'm like a dumb, like I look stupid. I look.
He
embarrassing.
looks like an immigrant now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You look like an older Elian Gonzalez.
Who is that? I don't know who that is. Yeah, so it looks like I should be cutting yards right now. It looks like my tia Paquita cut my hair for me, and I can't even go to Great Clips.
So awful.
I walked in, I was like, what's on his head? Why does it look like...
I'm going to be distracted the whole show.
It's not that bad.
Good.
It'll
It's
grow
good.
in.
It'll grow in,
all right.
and it grows fast. But I'm pretty
I hope
embarrassed
so.
about it.
So in addition to Javier having a terrible week, you know who else had a terrible week this week, you guys? My
Who?
friend, Milo Yiannopoulos.
Your friend.
My friend. All right, so you guys know who this guy is. He is a senior editor. He was a senior editor at Breitbart. He has been making the rounds. Apparently, he's been a pretty big social media presence for a while, but he's kind of now become known. He went on Bill Maher this past weekend, and some things have surfaced
And
about
prior to
him.
that, he was making news because of the Berkeley incident, right? He was scheduled to speak at UC Berkeley, and then UC Berkeley was like, "Fuck that," and they set the school on fire.
Yeah, which is
It's embarrassing.
isn't that so terrible? And this is why I think I'm so fascinated by this guy. So I'm so fascinated by the way the left is treating this guy, because it seems like for people who complain about Trump being a bully and who complain about free speech, that some guy comes out and he's outrageous and he's sort of is flaming a derogatory
Yes, he's very
thing to say?
flaming.
Is that a derogatory term?
He's very flaming.
But he is, right?
And
And he's like fucking hilarious, though. And people are losing their minds about this guy.
It's been an absolute witch hunt. In full disclosure, I did not really know. I knew about him, but I never knew what he really was about. Once I figured out what was going on with him this week, I actually went into a deep dive. I watched his Joe Rogan interview. I watched some interviews he did at the colleges, at some of his tour at the college campuses. And I really got to know him, and he does say a lot of outrageous things, but I'm really ashamed about the left and how they're treating and how much of a witch hunt it is. I think it's embarrassing, and I think we need to do better than the other side is doing. And although what he said was taken out of context, he never said that he fucking rapes little kids or anything like that. I think he said something that was personal to him, and they decided to hold on to it till the right moment to release it, and therefore everybody was just on this fucking witch hunt. Even the right was kind of fucked up about it. So I don't know.
It was really the right. I don't think the left was involved whatsoever.
The way they're reacting to it.
Yeah, and like I said,
the left. Okay, yeah, you're right. The left didn't fuck it up, but
because we weren't his audience anyway.
No,
yeah, we weren't.
They didn't break it, but as he began to rise in prominence, people were researching him. They wanted to know what he was about and what he did, and tons of left leaning media outlets were reporting on this guy. If you watched the news this week, there was way more coverage about him on CNN than there was on Fox News. So I don't know that it was this right witch hunt. That I mean, it really was.
I think it was for what happened with his outing and stuff, because this conservative Twitter picked up videos of him and edited it in a certain way to make it seem like he was for pedophilia, and they ran with it and they cut it because he was announced to speak at some fucking conservative Republican thing, and they went with it and they got him to death. But the left, prior to that, was not acting accordingly as we should.
Yeah, and they perpetuated the story.
Yes.
Even though they know that it was taken out of context, they're still perpetuating the story. And I agree, Javi. Like, I'm so embarrassed that this is how people are treated. I mean, yeah, is he obnoxious? Is he a troll? Sure. Does he say crazy stuff? Sure. But I mean, he's not the president. We don't have to hold him to that standard where he can't do those things. If we're going to demand a right for free press, he was a senior editor at Breitbart. He can say whatever crazy shit he wants to say.
And keep in mind, this is coming from two people with children. So I watch fucking SVU and I fucking hate that shit fires me up. Like,
yeah,
I'm
biggest,
totally
like,
against
worry
that
of your
shit.
life,
And
right?
the fact that I heard him, after hearing what he had to say, I don't feel like my son was in danger around him. I don't feel that at all. I do think he's a little bit outrageous, and I love the fact that he's so gay and he's Republican. I think that's what I need. That's I was leaning Republican this last few weeks, and I was telling you guys, I think people need to see more of that. People who genuinely love their party and happen to be a different party than what people expect them to be.
Yeah, he opened my eyes a lot. I agree.
I don't fucking like the guy. I don't like him at all. I never liked him since I first heard about him. I heard about him like maybe like 6 or 8 months ago, whatever. But he says some really outlandish things. He's always trying to get attention. He's a troll. I don't even know if he really believes half the things he's saying. I think he's just trying to get a rise out of people. He first gained some notoriety when he was coming after Leslie Jones during the premiere of Ghostbusters, the all-female Ghostbusters. He called her an ape. She looked like a man, and then he got.
But did he call her those things, or did he retweet things that
he
other people
said
had
himself?
said
She looks like a man. And then he basically was cyberbullying, so he's kicked off of Twitter for that, and that gained him some notoriety. And he went on further, and then most recently he got he wasn't able to speak at the UC Berkeley event. I just think he's kind of an asshole. I'm not stepping on anybody's right to free speech. I support you. You can say whatever you want, but don't be upset when I say I don't like the fuck you're talking about, and I wish you would stop talking. You can say whatever you want, but don't be upset with the reaction that you get from things that you say.
So, yeah, we're allowed to believe or say what we want as long as it doesn't infringe on people's rights, correct? Has he done anything to infringe on people's rights? I mean, he talked shit. He talked really good shit, too. But
Right.
is he actually infringing on Leslie Jones' rights?
Right, exactly.
No.
He's not doing. He's just.
He's
a big
free to
old troll.
say. He can say whatever he wants. I just don't like it,
Right, yeah.
and I don't have to.
No, you don't. But he has a right to say it. I
Right.
think, which is
He
kind
can
of the
say
point,
whatever he
that
wants.
To come after him in an aggressive manner to, light Berkeley on fire. I mean, that's
That was extreme.
That's extreme.
Anytime
That's
you're destroying
uncalled
property
for.
in protest, it's extreme.
And it
the
demeans
fucking
your
right
message.
picked that shit up, and then all these fucking liberals, they fucking
Of
picked that shit up.
course.
And
Of
in free
course.
speech, I think we're not being clear, because free speech, you can say whatever you want, but people don't have to give you a platform to say things that very few people agree with. You know what I'm saying? So he was removed from, or he was forced to resign, or whatever happened with Breitbart, and then he was disinvited or uninvited. What's right? Uninvited from speaking at the CPAC because of comments he made, which is fine. Like, we don't have to host you speaking here. So this type of outrage, they're stamping on his free speech. No, you can say whatever you want. Do by all means. Facebook Live that shit, but you're not invited to the CPAC, and you can't do it for Breitbart.
Well, one of the things, because I've been watching some interviews of his and just trying to figure out who he is and get to know him as a person, was one of the things that he said that I did agree with. And he says a lot of crazy shit that I don't agree with. So let's just be clear. I find him hilarious, but I don't agree with everything he says. But one thing that he did say, he was talking about this culture of, being outraged for the sake of being outraged and kind of just taking everything too far and being ridiculous about it. And he said that is a huge thing with the left now. There's just this outrage culture, and everyone we're outraged about everything. And it's kind of what I was talking about, is like people are just taking up these causes just for the sake of having something to be pissed off about. Not really because anybody cares, not really because anybody has this like initiative to do something about it, but it's just like outrage for the sake of outrage. And that's what I think is ridiculous, because that is really kind of what happened to him. And, you know, we see what things that happened like with Trump, with his presser last weekend, and people are going crazy, and the right is going, hey, it's not that big of a deal. Like, we can't make little things a big deal, because when something like that happens and it is a big deal and people should be concerned and outraged, people aren't, because they're tired of the left crying about everything.
Yeah, and the sad part about that is the fucking the right media people like Milo and Tommy Lauren just pick that shit up and just make fun of us unrelentlessly for it. And I don't like being made fun of for that. It's like
much like you don't like being made fun of for your haircut.
Yes, you're right. So anyways, like I was saying, and the fucking they go and do that, and then I say, well, they don't represent all of us, and then I feel the pain of some Trumpers who are like, hey, these crazy Trump people that are on these fucking medias don't represent all of us. So I was like, fuck, they're right.
That was exactly kind of the same reaction I had to it. Like, oh, the right is much different than we expected, and I think even with people coming out, you know, speaking against Trump, we're kind of seeing the tides turning on him. We're seeing Fox News doing some reporting that's when he came out, you know, against the press at his conference, and he was talking about, you know, fake news media outlets, and, you know, some of these people were actually sticking up for their colleagues and saying like, that's not okay.
God, fucking finally. They fucking the Fox News finally sticks up and like says something negative towards Trump.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to Shepard Smith.
Was the guy Shepard Smith?
Smith. That was
which
so
is
awesome.
funny because his tweet said the fake news media failing New York Times, NBC News, ABC, CBS, at CNN, not Fox, is not my enemy, is the enemy of the American people. And what does Fox do? Like, no, you need to fucking stop.
Yeah.
No, you can't make the media the enemy. Like, this guy is fucking up. Like, and people are still supporting him.
The media is so important, but it comes with the territory, right? They don't believe or trust the media, so it's kind of how things go. Because they don't believe the media either. They think, what does the media have, a 45% approval rating or something like that? Or trustworthiness?
Yeah, I don't know that you can always believe those polls either. I mean, if anything, Hillary's loss should have taught us, like, don't believe the polls
at all. Stay away from them.
Just so scary and negative. And one of the things that I love that Trump said during that conference was he made this comment about, like,
uranium? No?
That wasn't that hilarious. And I was like, no shit. I watched Back to the Future. I know what uranium is. Trump. Oh, God. But only old people will get that joke.
Hillary gave Russia 20% of all of her uranium. Oh, my God.
Like, just frame it how you want to. Frame this lie.
You guys think that I'm a pro... Oh, my God. It was horrible.
The good thing about it is he makes me do a lot of Googling. Because I'm like, what? Did she really do that? It's like, she couldn't have done that. Why is it not a story? And I Google it, and he's a fucking liar. just like his Electoral College victory. The largest in history, largest victory. And then as soon as he's done, we'll open up for question, guys. And then the first question is, sir, you just lied. Barack Obama had 365. You had 304, 306.
Obama, and it was just the Republican ones.
He's like, no, because George H.W. Bush, the one who's only elected one time, he didn't even make it 2 terms. He's elected one time, had 426 Electoral College.
And what does he fucking do? He fucking passes the blame on to someone else. This motherfucker wants to take all responsibility when things are going great, but when something bad happens, he fucking passes on the blame.
Shout out to him for being like, fuck that, that's not real.
Yeah, because I think he believes that, like, in his mind, right? I was saying, like, his favorite thing, because clearly the end, like, when he was taking questions from the press was totally the best part, and, like, the most outrageous, but also hilarious thing to watch. And he said at one point, like, well, you have to admit I get great ratings. And I was like, does he mean approval ratings?
While we were watching it.
TV ratings?
He doesn't even know what he means.
What do you think he meant? Like, I totally think he meant TV ratings. I still don't think he understands this is a real job and not part of his reality show.
He's like asking Reince Priebus, hey, have you heard from Nielsen yet? The Nielsen ratings? Are they good? How many viewers do we get this week?
Fucking Donnie. The problem with him is every time he's in front of a mic, it's what's it called?
It's a show.
It's a campaign. It's just another fucking campaigning. It's all he's doing. Anytime he's in front of a fucking mic, he's campaigning. He's fucking, anytime, it's just embarrassing. He fucking throws rallies. Like the first month of his presidency, he's throwing a fucking rally. Like, come on. Ray, you said something earlier that was fucking awesome.
Did I say something about Gene Huber?
No, Don Lemon either. You said fucking something that hit that you can finish the thought too. Is that this guy is so in love with himself and so in love with his victories that he still hasn't gotten over. He keeps mentioning Hillary, like he has to remind us of this greatest victory he's ever had. When have you heard other presidents talk about the people they just beat? No, they just get to fucking
it's
work.
Over, bro. Like, you won. Why are you still talking? Actually, he's kind of being like a sore loser. Like, he keeps bringing up Hillary. He brought her up 11 times during the press conference. Hillary's minding her fucking business. She's walking around the woods. She's got on jeans, some LO Bean boots. She's doing her thing. She's got a large dog, like most white people. She's just doing her thing. And he keeps calling her out. Leave Hillary alone. Let her live in the woods.
You know what? One thing though is fucking Bernie's still out there fucking killing it. And
Bernie's fighting.
I got sad this week too because it was a fucking sad week.
Bernie's out. You don't agree?
No, but I remember that back in the day when our choices were Bernie or Hillary, you guys were like, I'm unsure about Bernie.
I was very unsure about Bernie, and I was very, very wrong.
You were right now.
Candace was right.
Both of
I
you.
just
Thank
feel
you.
like we need a younger Bernie.
You. Why does he have to be younger?
That's why I didn't like Bernie. I was like, he's clearly going to die in office. He's 107 years old.
Yeah, but he's woke.
He is
Bernie
woke.
gets it.
He's been woke since 1919.
Yeah. Have you watched these videos? Shut up. But if you watch the videos of his career, Bernie has stuck with who he is. Yeah. He's not a sellout like John McCain. He's not being this little bitch.
He's not a sellout like Hillary.
Back and forth. He's not a sellout like Hillary. You know, like whatever he's been for, he's stuck with. He's the same guy. Isn't that what we want? And all right, flip side, isn't that what people love about Trump?
No, I think he still would have lost to Trump because it's a popularity contest, not a who's been more consistent all their life.
No, but what I'm saying is what people love about Trump is they're like, he keeps it real. That's what I love about Bernie. Right? And that's what Trump supporters
people
say
don't
about
really
him.
vote on issues as much. They vote on like the idea.
Likability.
Right. They vote on likability and the idea of what they think that person's going to do for them. So it's not like he actually, like, Trump never ever had a plan during the campaign. He never showed it. He never talked about it. He said, we're going to make it great. There's no plan. So people don't really care about the facts. They care so much about the likability and what they think that person can get done within their own idea of it. So I think people would have got behind Bernie just because, I mean...
No,
he had been speaking the truth. I think he would have. He had been speaking the truth the whole time. He was saying things that were very soundbitey. You know what I'm saying? Like they were like very one line. He's like,
and he hasn't stopped.
Catchphrase.
That's how he talks.
From the
though.
campaign.
That's just what he is. That's what he's about. He's still doing that now.
Yeah,
I made a promise to myself that I wasn't gonna bash on him this much.
I know you're going really hard on him right now.
I was giving Donnie a chance. I really was. But when he's started this war with the media that's like, why are you fighting with the media, bro? Just go get shit done.
Why do you think he's fighting with the media?
Why is he fighting?
Why would he say something like that? Listen to the things that he's saying. He's saying, distrust the media. He's saying, only truth can be found in me. He's saying that the media is the enemy of the American people. He has the people around him. He has Kellyanne Conway. I talked about this last week, saying, I serve at the pleasure of POTUS. His message is my message. He has douchebags like Stephen Miller standing there and saying, the power of the president will not be questioned. What does this sound like to you guys?
He's really trying to control the narrative, right?
Well, it's an authoritarian rule. It's the rise of an authoritarian rule. And if you look back at history, and if you look back at times when men have risen up to take power over countries, and they've talked this way, and they've had the similar agenda, what happens to those countries? Does he make them great again? When have we seen that? Now,
do you think it's because he's actively in his mind trying to create this authoritarian type of thing where he doesn't want people to trust anything, or is he just really upset at the media because they haven't said nice things about him?
Do I think he's dumb and just fumbling along? No, I've said that before. I don't think that that's it. To go, you discredit him all the time and say he's not smart enough to be, actively manipulating the narrative, but that's what he's doing. He is smart enough. That's what he's doing.
I'm torn.
I disagree with you 100%, and here's why. Here's why. First off, there was an article this week that came out and said Trump has never been a CEO his entire life. It's always been other people running his businesses. All he does is he takes credit for everything and gets the big checks. He's never had any. The one public company he actually tried was the Trump casinos, and look what happened to that. This guy has never been a leader his life. He wants everybody to love him, but he also has this one personality trait where
do most dictators.
But he also has this personality trait that he wants everybody to love him, but he's also very brash, and it's two very odd things for a human being to have. Like he wants, if somebody doesn't agree or love with him, they're wrong. And he's starting this war with the media, not like fucking Putin, who's a fucking genius and fucking wants to control with like killing fucking journalists who disagree with him. But he's doing this because he's just so full of himself. Yeah. Anybody who disagrees with him is wrong, and he's starting this fight with him because he's wrong. Because he's going fucking press conferences where he's not televised. He's bashing the media. Yeah, that's all he's doing because it's about his ego and it's about him. He's not that smart. He hasn't proven to be that smart his entire career. He's fucked up consistently his entire life.
He's the president of the United States. He's the most powerful man in the world. He's not a failure, guys. He's the most powerful man in the world. I'm just saying, I'm not going to I'm not going to not take him seriously. I'm not going to not give him credit where credit's due.
We're not saying not take him seriously. He's just...
You underestimate him, I think.
If he was so smart, why is everything so fucking such a mess in the White House?
And everything is so base level. Like nothing is like elevated thought.
Everything's a mess right now in the White House.
But does he think that? It's a mess based on what we think ego. Is a level of, success, but he's not measuring it based on what we think is success.
He's someone who works shit about what in chaos, and he's fine with it. He thinks it's running like a fine-tuned machine, as he said in his press conference. Which just goes to show that because of his narcissism, because he thinks he's so great that nothing that he can do could be bad. Well, so when his White House is an issue and there's a bunch of shit going on, and Kellyanne's going on TV lying, he's misspeaking, his approval rating is 40%. He can't take that information as fact because he believes that he's so great and anything that he does could not be bad.
Well, okay, so
it's funny how this argument we're having. Is he really this stupid or is he a genius? No, he's stupid.
Did you hear about Russia, how they're doing an investigation to see his mental capacity, like see if he's mentally ill?
But Russia's taking a play from his book too. I don't know. Russia's fucking starting fake news websites now too.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they're basically they're getting things from the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal, and they're putting it on the site, and they put this big old fat red stamp that says fake news, and they don't put any context. They just let the people know of Russia, this is fake news.
Wow.
And of course people eat that shit up. They don't fucking know over there, right? So they're taking plays from his book, and it's fucking hilarious.
It's not even from his book though. Like, this is the oldest trick ever. I mean, what Trump is a mean girl, and you guys aren't girls, so you didn't grow up with Mean Girls. I mean, did you guys watch the movie?
I got made fun of a lot.
So there's Mean Girls, and the movie is actually based on a book called Queen Bees and Wannabes.
Here we go.
And basically, it's about it's how girls are mean to people, and the meaner that they are, the more these girls want their approval and they want to be in their social circle. And you see that. You see, yes, there were some reporters who were coming against Trump, but there were some who were crawling so far up his ass. I was like, you should be ashamed of yourself. You see the people who he surrounds himself. He's methodical about it. He surrounds himself with people who don't have enough self-esteem to oppose him, and then he's mean to them, and then he throws them a little bit of attention so that he can stay controlling them. It's mean girl tactics.
He's Regina George.
And then if
he's Regina George. It's junior high tactics.
If someone disagrees with him, then he fires him. Like he fired
then you're
that one
out.
guy.
Then you're out of the circle, and the worst place to be is outside.
Anymore.
Exactly. Remember, she was like, as hard as it is to be a plastic, it's much worse to not be a plastic, right? Like it's mean girl
you put
tactics.
up with this shit just to be a member.
That's it.
Just to be a part of the most powerful thing in the world.
Was Regina George not a authoritarian ruler?
You can tell that like Sean Spicer is clearly like
Gretchen Wiener.
Is he Gretchen? He's totally Gretchen, and he just wants to be there.
Maybe he's Karen. Maybe
he's
him
like trying to lie. What would Trump want me to say?
That's funny. He does have this power complex. Like the way he fucking shakes people's hands is like a huge sign of that.
Yeah,
right?
so
like,
weird.
It's all about taking power. Like he's a fucking like let's stick our dicks out and measure. Like he's that kind of guy, right? So I agree, but I think this entire although he does
Justin Trudeau is like, I got an 8-foot dick.
Let's play.
Fucking Trudeau embarrassed him, man.
Oh man,
and you can
Big
see
dick
like
Justin.
This happened like 2 weeks ago. I don't know why we're talking about it, but
from Canada.
I've watched that clip so many times.
No one's ever said about a Canadian ever.
Dude, I have watched that clip so many times. I fucking love it. Like, I'm preparing myself. If I ever meet Trump, I'm like, all right, so you hold his shoulder so he doesn't push you in, and like,
you got a whole tactic for the handshake.
Dude, you really
that
do.
was so badass.
There's a video that is the art of the handshake, and then like if I can analyze his handshake, and he's always done that fucking yank and that fucking tap, and he pulls your wrist a certain way. Like it's all about power
tactic,
for him.
yeah.
Which goes back to Dre's point. It's all about his ego and his narcissism.
It's like Regina George, like, oh, that bracelet is so pretty. Where did you get it? It's the same thing.
The ugliest sweater I've ever seen.
But I wonder, okay, so.
How many times have I seen this?
So I wonder, though, how much accountability we as the American people have. What kind of standard do we hold our president to, right? If you watched the news this Sunday, Carl Bernstein, who is one of the journalists who broke the Watergate story, was all over talking about Trump and talking about his presser. And one of the things he said that I found like the most profound was that there is no longer any civic consensus on what we find acceptable for our president. So we have just become like casual as fuck about what we expect our president to be. We don't expect anything from him. We don't expect him to be this sort of high level thinker, this intelligent person. And Obama came with the credentials, okay? Obama was qualified, but Obama was dancing like a white man on Ellen, and he's like, doing Funny or Die videos and just like all kind of just really casual things. And it was cool, and he became cool.
Right.
And you saw that before with Bush. You saw Bush was kind of just this like laid back cowboy who misspoke and, didn't know how to pronounce words. And we all were like, that's hilarious as fuck. You know what I mean? Like we just laughed at it. We were just like, damn it, he's adorable. And, I was thinking about it. It really kind of even goes back to Clinton, who was playing the saxophone in Arsenio. You guys probably weren't even born when that happened, but right, like, so it goes back to this.
We're not that young.
It goes back to this culture of just kind of taking away like a seriousness and a professionalism, which is just not even just at the president level. It's kind of just happening, at every level of things that we do. But I wonder how much we're accountable for just kind of no longer having that sort of
Yeah, I think it goes back to our conversation before where we said that a lot of people aren't informed on the issues. Most Americans just don't pay attention. So essentially, the presidency becomes a popularity contest, right?
Well, no, and I understand that, but it's always been that. But how much respect did we have for men like Nixon, men like Kennedy? I mean, Nixon obviously prior to that. But he came in and he was a professional and he was well-spoken. Kennedy was glamorous and handsome and smart. And we had this expectation, men who wore hats and wore suits, and we had this expectation of the level of professionalism, the level of intelligence that we expected from the leader of the free world. And I don't think that we have that anymore. I think we've lost that.
I think we lost it with Kennedy, right? It's kind of started with him. He was the first TV president, right? Because they had color TV.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And then it kind of led into...
But he was still... I mean, he was doing some shady stuff on the side. Yeah. But what the American people knew about and saw was a respectable war hero, was a decent man.
He was
essentially... What'd you say?
Some of the things he had to say about the government is really enlightening, and he was...
I'm not trying to take it away from him. I'm saying we had higher standards before, and we've sort of just let that fall.
I don't think that was a higher standard because he was the cool guy, and the cool guy won, right? He's like a handsome guy. He was a Kennedy.
He's very similar to Barack.
Right, he was the Barack. So he was young, smart, and attractive or whatever, right? So, and it kind of led in...
Now we know why he doesn't like Milo.
Right, because... Milo doesn't want me. Right?
He's also Catholic.
And they kind of let in with Reagan.
Actually, Milo would want you, but that's a side note. Go.
We're not talking about Milo anymore.
Sorry.
I fucking hate that guy. Then it led into Reagan, who was a movie star, and it really is a
good point.
It really is a popularity contest. People want to like the person, and it just goes to prove the past few elections that the most qualified person does not always win. Hillary Clinton was clearly the most qualified. Al Gore was clearly the most qualified. The most qualified person does not always win. It's the most likable person. Because like we said before, is people don't pay attention to the issues. They pay attention to, I like this guy.
Do you not feel that we've lowered our standards on professionalism, though? I see people in the industry that we work on meet with clients and like work out clothes. I mean, come on, that's so unprofessional.
Mm-hmm. I just don't understand how you can have someone who's supposed to represent our country on the world stage. We are essentially, the leader of the free world, and we allow him to act and conduct himself this way, and people still support him. That's fucking shocking. Like, how can you see him be all manic up on stage and, say these ridiculous things and mock people with disabilities on stage and still say, that's my president, I stand behind him. I don't understand these Trump supporters. I really would love to have them come on and have a conversation with, because I don't get your logic.
Yeah, we do actually need somebody to come on. But I think for the reasons that we were just talking about, because he presents himself as that, I'm just one of you and I'm one of the people and I stand for you. And people believe it. Obviously, he isn't one of them. Obviously, he's not one of them. He doesn't look like them. He's never lived their lives. But people believe it. And I think that people ultimately just want somebody to identify with.
Right.
I think if it wasn't
He
Hillary,
is funny, though. I think that's why he's so because he's really hilarious.
But he's hilarious and
I'm laughing at
an
him
ironic way. I don't know that his supporters think he's hilarious in the way we think he's hilarious.
Do they think he's funny? What do they like about him? Because he's so funny to me.
Because they were remember at the end of the press conference, he's like, I'm having fun. I'm just having a great time. I'm having a great time here, in a super aggressive, mean way. I'm having a great time. I'm having a great time.
You know how much fucking fun I'm having?
And then Fox News was like, didn't you see him having a great time? He was having a great time. And you're like, God, what the fuck? Everybody just calm down.
There's a panel. Yeah, he's having a great time. Yeah. What'd you think? Yeah, he was having a great time.
Republicans need
He's
weed.
Like that crazy uncle that
to
makes everybody laugh, but you don't want to take him out in public, though. And the problem is, it's cool to have him in the family and making fucking jokes and shit. But when you take him out of public, it's like, all right, Uncle Joe, you got to calm down. We're public. Unfortunately, he does it on television where the world sees him. And although he's hilarious, and I agree with you, he's very entertaining, it's also embarrassing because fucking UK's watching, fucking Russia's watching, fucking people that are supposed to be taking it seriously are watching. And the only thing they have to judge us is our president and the way they behave themselves, and they probably think we're a bunch of dumbasses now.
Yeah, and he does not represent America. He represents about 30% of America, and honestly, based on his supporters that I've seen, i.e. Gene Huber, who salutes a cardboard cutout of President Trump every single day as he walks out.
Can we please play Stan right now in the background? Please, Javi, please.
Nuts. Or Milo, who's also a crazy person.
How dare you.
Tommy Lauren.
Daddy.
Tommy Lauren, who's a crazy person too.
Hey, she's not crazy.
She's a crazy person.
Oh, Lord.
She's a pretty crazy person. Alex Jones is also crazy. All of these people are fucking nuts, and they support him. So they do not represent America. They're the far
But do they even represent Trump supporters, really?
Yeah, those are the people.
Dude,
the people who refuse facts, like the lady who was interviewed on CNN at town hall when Trump was being elected, and she's like, I legitimately believe that 3 million people can vote illegally, and she's like, what facts do you have to back that up? I don't have any. I see it online. You can just Google it.
On the news.
It's out there.
I saw it on the news.
It's not true, and you believe this because you're like a crazy person.
But I don't think that represents all Trump supporters.
It's like 63 million cat ladies.
We need to be careful of doing that, because we don't want to be labeled or generalized, right? We can't do that to the other side.
Bro, this is why I'm so bummed out.
I don't want to be the good guy anymore. I want to.
You want to fucking be the bad guy?
We gotta be the good guy for a little bit.
I'm so mad at this guy who's a president.
I'm with you, man. That's why I'm so fucking bummed out. Everybody has their narrative, and you can show them 100 articles fucking proving how they're wrong, but they're gonna find one article that proves them right, and that's what they're gonna stick with. Everybody has their narrative. They're gonna stick with it. They're not gonna give in. They're not gonna say, well, Trump's fucking up. They're gonna continue to follow, and this is why nothing's gonna fucking change.
But did we not do that with Obama?
What did we do with Obama?
How many news stories did you read about Obama? How many Fox News stories did you read Obama? How many times when anyone opposed Barack Obama or said anything negative about him where you were like, oh, white people, oh, Republicans, oh, they never give him a chance. I mean, come on, we didn't read that shit. We didn't take it seriously. We're like, fuck you, we love Obama. We're going to love him no matter what you say.
No, but
I don't care if he hooks up with dudes on the side. I don't care what hot dogs means to him.
What?
That's not true.
Shut up, come on. No, I'm not saying it's true. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying.
Shut up.
I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying. Come on.
Can I talk? I'm just kidding.
Hot dogs.
I feel like I'm being
mansplained
to right now, and I will not allow it.
I mean, Ray, I'm gonna quote that and be like, Candace says Obama sleeps with men.
No, that's why I said stop, because come on, you guys know I don't believe it. But what I'm saying is, none of us even looked into it, or how do we know it's not true? Sure, we didn't research it. We don't know.
Outlandish ones, yeah. But if it was a Fox News story, because they typically don't produce outlandish stories.
But don't you think
that you try and find? I would read those and then try and find the facts to support it, and typically the facts are wrong, or they were misrepresented in a way to make him look bad.
But I think, They were like fake news. Is that what you mean?
No, Candace, but there was
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But those were fake news.
But what I'm trying to explain to you
during his presidency, so I was not looking at the
There
news.
was not nothing happening. There was nothing that you were paying attention to. But what I'm saying is Trump supporters are doing the same thing we did. They're going, oh, Russia's clearly made up. Just like Obama-loving men is clearly made up. And I get that it's different.
Or Obama being a Muslim or being born in Kenya.
Exactly. We didn't research that shit. We didn't make sure it wasn't true.
But we knew it wasn't true.
They know that Trump is right and we're wrong.
We have facts.
Guys, they think they do
evidence,
too.
But they don't.
Ugh.
It's so hard to have a conversation or argument with someone who doesn't believe in facts. It's impossible.
But how often did you Google all the stuff that was being said about Obama? How do you know he wasn't a Muslim? You didn't research that. You didn't care. You believed what he told you. Honestly, you believed
I knew that he
what
wasn't,
he told you.
I knew that he wasn't born in
Kenya. And
Kenya.
that's what they're doing with Trump.
Guys, I think you said Googling. Like, if you Google something, it's going to tell you what you want to hear. It's like when you ask for advice for something.
All right, well, you didn't research it.
Like if the main news media outlets are not reporting this thing, then it's probably not true. The CNN was not reporting that Barack Obama was born in Kenya. Like, they weren't doing that. MSNBC wasn't reporting that Barack Obama was born in Kenya. Every news outlet is reporting that Trump had ties to Russia.
But we have to admit that those are all liberal.
But those people did Google that, and they Googled Obama born in Kenya, and even though the main ones weren't coming up, the Blaze was popping up.
They found things to support it.
And then that's a thing.
Well, if they're so...
No,
if they don't want to believe what general facts are, and they want to find something that agrees with them that has no basis in fact, then it really makes it so hard to have that conversation.
We've just been yelling at each other this last 10-15 minutes. There's like no clear, like, what are we arguing about here?
I'm trying to explain to you how to see the side of somebody who believes in Trump. You asked, how do these people still believe in him? I'm fucking explaining it to you. Is that not clear?
That was clear.
I thought so too.
That was clear.
Crystal.
Done. Continue.
I don't want to talk anymore.
No, but we just have to have an open mind about why people believe what they believe. If we don't try to understand them, if we don't try to put ourselves in their position, then we're no better. And we're not doing anything to help our cause. We're not doing anything to help the nation. We're just sitting here bitching. If we can actually have some empathy for these people, if we actually put ourselves in their shoes and go, I don't understand why you believe what you believe, but I want to. So let me try to break it down. Let me try to be you. Let me try to play devil's advocate. Let me try to make sense of it. Because we can't just villainize everybody. This is exactly what happened.
Who's villainizing? We're not villainizing anybody.
We're calling them stupid and dumb. Come on, that's villainizing. I'm just saying, come on. Like, if we're going to, like, what's the point of doing it if we're not going to have an open mind about why other people think the way they think?
I try to understand their side.
I'm not saying it's okay.
I'm trying to understand their side, and they have no facts to back it up, so it makes it hard for me to understand what they believe. Because what they're believing is conspiracy theory and Alex Jones and InfoWars, and I know he's charismatic and he's got a raspy voice, and people are like, I like hearing what he's saying. Right, like, but what he's saying has no basis in truth. He picks random facts, right? He pulls them out of the sky. I'm pulling facts out of the sky. He strings them together to make you think that this long conspiracy is a real thing, and that's how the birther movement was started. That's how Pizzagate happened, and this long line of just falsehoods that these people believe that have not been confirmed or corroborated with by any major news outlet makes you think, maybe I shouldn't believe this. Maybe this isn't true.
Yet he still won the presidency.
Yeah, because people believe it.
It's so sad. It's so sad.
I don't know that you can compare, though. Like, we're comparing Tommy to Milo.
This is our livelihood we're talking about, right, guys? Like, we are affected by this.
And this is the point of the podcast, right, is to hear different opinions from different people. We're similar in how we think, but we're different. At the end of the day, we can disagree, ideologically, but we're still Americans and we're still friends.
I was thinking, like, why are we always talking about immigration? Why are we always talking about this kind of like stuff? But I think people tune into us because they want to hear our perspective, and immigration is important to me. Professionalism is important to us, and everyone has their own hot topic. And one of the things that's been made crystal clear to me this last month is my fucking comfort. Like Like, I have lived in this country so, like, with peace of mind. Like, I'm going to be okay. But literally, this fucking guy, every single day is something new. And I really have taken my freedom for granted. Like, I don't know what's going to happen the next day. And I know I've been saying this for the last month or two. But, like, I really just get fucking sad sometimes. Because it's like, this fucker is taking people's liberties away. And, you know, the whole ICE thing. And now they're fucking, you know, raiding people. And the rules have changed now what they can do with people when they... You know, if they catch him, and he hasn't said nothing about deferred action, but, you know, anybody who has any kind of crime now and is living here in Dawkins, it's like...
Didn't he say something about deferred action, though?
Yeah, he said that we'll deal with them with heart.
That's it. He hasn't said anything.
And that was hopeful,
I'm talking about
though.
I'm talking about the immigration thing he said yesterday. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Homeland Security had this new, like, fucking, basically, they're the re-ruling of what they can do with immigrants now. So now, even people that weren't born in Mexico, if they're immigrants, they're going to get put back in Mexico. Even though if they're from Colombia, if they're from Venezuela.
Yeah.
I was wondering, what do they do with those people who aren't necessarily from Mexico?
No, they go to Mexico no matter what.
Nowadays, but usually you keep them locked up until they have enough to send them in a plane back to the home country. That's what they used to do. So we used to show them some humanity. I don't agree that the fact that we just let them back into the country, right? But I feel less human this last month or 2 months. I felt like what's the word I'm looking? I used to have this arrogance, this almost like comfort, the security that I don't have. I don't feel like I have anymore. I look at you guys and I feel like I'm lesser than you guys because I don't have the same rights. I wasn't born in this country, and it's crystal clear to me that I'm an immigrant now, and that right for me to live here can be taken any day now. Wow. It's sad. I'm here like fucking now we're talking about this every week, and I fucking read Trump and what he's doing now, and he's embarrassing everybody again, and fucking 50% of the people fucking go Google what they believe, and the 50 other percent people Google what they believe. We fucking fight on Twitter, but nothing happens. And you know what? I don't think anything's gonna change because of the internet. Because nowadays you can just Google whatever the fuck you want to prove what your whatever you believe. Like, I can fucking believe the earth is flat, and I can look up articles on it all fucking day, and I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I'm going to believe the earth is flat, and I don't care.
Who's an NBA player?
Yeah, Kyrie Irving said that.
Yeah. And it's fucking...
Where's the edge at, Kyrie? You went to Duke.
It's ridiculous, right? But
where's the fucking edge at?
You can apply that to anything. Like, there's 3 million people that voted. There's fucking immigrants in this country that are ruining the country, and they shouldn't be here. And I don't think things are going to change because this fucking internet's so easy to post a blog. It's so easy to go comment on somebody, flame them to death. I'm really genuinely sad for this country and what's going to happen.
Yeah. So how do we almost like feel like we almost have to protect ourselves from ourselves? Right. And I think that's kind of what the Electoral College was designed to do, because the Electoral College is actually a group of people who go and vote according to their constituents in their state, but they can also not go with the constituents of their state. And I feel like we need to be at this point. I don't know if I want to make the Electoral College more important because that's also very dangerous, but we almost need to protect ourselves from ourselves because we can't trust ourselves to make good, educated, informed decisions that will be better for all Americans.
Focusing on politics since this podcast has started has drained the life out of me. I think, honestly, from this point on, I'm not going to be tuning in every single day into what's going on because it's fucking draining.
Did you not before this?
Nope.
Never?
Nope.
I always have, really. I mean, not as much as I am now, obviously, but I always kind of have.
No, like, I am, like, on the fucking news every fucking day reading what's going on.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to take a break. You know,
take
a week off from Trump.
Just like anything, you gotta.
But you can't with this, because at least with Obama, there'd be news weeks at a time where nothing was mentioned about it.
Yeah.
And then
again, if you watch Fox News, that's not how it went. But okay.
But he wasn't doing something every day.
No, but every week Bill O'Reilly was talking about all the terrible ways he was destroying America.
But then
every single week
he would just talk about would talk about the same thing. He'd like regurgitate the same fact.
I mean, aren't we doing that? But aren't we doing that?
No, we literally have a new issue every week. Uranium. Every week he's got some new stupid shit that he did or said.
Right. I just think that if we're going to have a change, if we're going to make a change, that we need to learn how to, see the other side. My best friend is a blonde-haired, green-eyed, Trump-loving Republican. It doesn't affect our relationship at all. She has her views. I have mine. She's listened to the show. She sat with me. We listened to it together. She laughed at parts. Parts she was like, you guys are dumb. Parts she was like, oh, okay, I agree with that. That's funny. But, the podcast ended and we were like still best friends. Nothing changed. I think that there's a way for us to sort of meld together. I think there's a way for us to move forward. I don't think this is the end. And I understand, Javi, that you come at it at a different angle because this directly affects you and your life and your future. And obviously it does, Trump presidency affects all of us as Americans, but clearly you in a much different way than me and Ray. So, I understand what you're saying, but I think that there is hope. I think that us doing this is like trying to give people hope, right?
There's definitely hope out there. There's definitely a lot of excitement out there, especially with the liberal base. They've been holding not press conferences, town halls all week during the recess for the Senate and the Congress. Or the Senate and the House.
Where the Republican senators have not been showing up. So
a lot of them have, though, and I give them credit. I think, some guy in Arkansas was there today, and then yesterday there was a senator from Louisiana. So there are some who are actually going to these town halls, talking to the people, hearing their grievances. And people on the left are really, not even people just on the left, people on the right too are packing these town halls. There's an energy in here. There's a movement growing. So I think that change is happening and people are listening, people being more attentive of what's going on. So I think change will happen, and those negative things that we talk about, I think they're going to definitely be slowed down by the movement that's going on.
I hope
So there is hope. There's hope. You know who lost a little bit of hope today? The transgenders.
Too weird of a segue.
Is that a bad segue?
We lost it.
Do you guys know what I'm talking about? The transgenders? We talked about Milo. He doesn't like the transgender. I thought you guys would have some strong opinions about them.
I've never met a transgender in my life, so I can't make a comment on it.
You can make a comment on it. Yes, you can. So today, the White House has rescinded the executive order that President Obama put into place that protected trans students' rights to use the bathroom of their choice. So the White House decided that it would be up to the states to decide how they're going to discriminate against transgender people or not.
Yeah. So as a
transgender
mother,
woman.
How dare you, sir? As a mother of 4 daughters, I have to admit that
and previously going by the name Kevin. Just kidding.
Listen to this voice. This is
Candace is a woman.
Lady's voice.
It's all about how you identify. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, as a mom of 4 girls, I feel like I was always kind of weird about that subject. Like, that's weird for me that a man can just go in the bathroom with my girls. I think it's weird. And I think that if one of my, I don't know, I think it's dangerous. I don't know. I don't ever mean to sound closed-minded because I try to never be. But, yeah, like when Javi was talking about, kind of growing up in that post-9/11 world and how, he has to remind himself to be open-minded about Muslims. I kind of feel the same way about transgender people. I don't really understand it. I don't know a lot about it. I look at Bruce and I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Her name is Caitlin.
I would call him whatever I want to. But, like, it's so weird to me. I'm just like, stop. Candace. Like, it's just so weird. I don't know. I don't get it.
I think there's a legitimate split, too. Like, I think a lot of, people who consider themselves liberal are also confused about this subject.
Yeah, I completely admit that I don't know. I don't get it. It's weird to me.
Do you want to know? Do you want to understand?
No, I don't know how I feel about it.
But you're saying that you don't know how you feel, so you're not for it or against it.
You're not even trying.
I don't care. Like, so, part
you're
of
indifferent.
Part of being a liberal is I don't care what people do as long as it doesn't harm someone else.
Sure.
I don't think that it's safe to start going like you can go in any bathroom. I think like having a box that you check male, female, others. Ridiculous. I mean, it's not that I don't care or I don't want to understand. I just think like there's limits. Let's stop being so ridiculous about things. And I think that sharing
what's
a
ridiculous?
Bathroom, Just like, oh, you can't call him don't call him Bruce. Don't call him a him. Like, oh my gosh,
but you're
calm
like,
down.
I'm gonna call him whatever I want to call him.
Like, come on, stop.
If I want to be called,
I'm not calling him anything degrading. I'm calling him Bruce.
You're
Jenner.
calling him Bruce. That's not his name. His name is
Caitlyn.
Her name is Caitlyn.
I'll call him whatever
Pronouns.
I want to call him. I don't care what he has to say. I'll call
I
him
didn't
whatever.
say that at all.
What you did say was I'll call him whatever I want to call him.
Yeah, like, is Bruce listening? Is he like at home crying because I didn't call him Caitlyn? No, who the fuck
Maybe.
cares? No, I don't care.
So if he was listening, you wouldn't say that?
Like, I don't care. I don't know. We're talking about this, but I did not care less. Like, on the scope of things to worry about, like calling Bruce or Caitlyn, I don't give a fuck about
so
that.
Does
that affect my life?
How
or
they
does that
identify
affect his
doesn't-
life and his safety? No. Get the fuck out of here. If what you're crying about doesn't directly affect your life or your safety, then it doesn't matter. If I'm fighting for somebody's rights, absolutely I'm going to fight for your right. But
why doesn't she have that right, though?
Come on.
What? Come on, what? Why doesn't she have that right?
Caitlyn is
her name is now
safety
Caitlyn.
as a person. That
It
affects his
could.
safety as a person.
It could. It definitely could,
Get
because
outta
there are
here.
people out.
Fucking
No, you can't just write it off. You can't, because there are people out there who
I can believe whatever I want to believe. You can't tell me what I can believe.
You just told us to be more open-minded about fucking Trump, and then you're being so close-minded about this.
I don't understand the transgender thing.
And you're saying, I don't care. I don't know.
Are they
You're not
born
saying
that
you
way?
understand, you're
Has
saying you don't
science
care.
proven that?
They are born that way.
No, you don't.
If they're
You
saying that they're
constantly
born that
say
way, then
things.
that's what it is. That's
saying-
I can't tell you you're not born some
Pedophiles
way.
say they were born that way. That's what it is?
That's a choice to be with a
Oh,
child.
well then watch yourself, because you can't
That's
cherry
a choice
pick if
to be
I
with a
can't cherry
child.
pick. No,
because you don't have
cherry
to.
pick if
A
I
sec-
can't
no.
cherry pick.
There's a difference between a sexual urge and there's a difference between a way a person feels as a human being. Sex has nothing to do with it. If she feels that she was born in the wrong body, not she wants to have sex with men. It has nothing to do with that.
That's not what you believe. Doesn't define who and what you are.
Right. No, it does.
No,
it does.
I'm like, I believe I'm a dog. Oh, well, she's a dog, and we're gonna make this.
If
whole
you want to walk around here and be a
box
dog,
check,
that's
like,
up to you.
Male, female, dog. Like, come on.
If
like,
you want to
there
walk
is a
around here and be a
level of
dog, that's up to you. But
ridiculousness.
if Caitlyn says, I am a woman, I was born in the wrong body, and this is how I feel, and this is how I want to live my life, then who am I to not respect that?
What do you mean you don't believe
I didn't say I
that?
didn't believe. I didn't say I didn't respect it. I just, people have a right to do what they want. I don't know if I. No, come on. It's real. How do you know it's real? You've seen studies that show it's real.
Because she said it's
She
real.
turned herself into a
that's
woman.
not-
You don't go through those extents and those procedures and that pain and bring that type of criticism and hate onto yourself if that's not something you truly feel. You don't put hold on. You don't put yourself in that type of danger and stress if it's not
Danger, the cover of Vanity Fair magazine.
You're talking about Caitlyn. You're talking about Caitlyn specifically, which is a different situation because she has money and safety and all that stuff. But the transgender community has one of the highest mortality rates of any group or any group
before
in the world
and after surgery. They still kill themselves after they have surgery.
Right. It's not just suicide. It's not just suicide. It's people attacking them and murdering them.
There's bigger issues, though. I don't know how I feel about it.
Dude, you just said how you compare yourself to me, how I look at Muslims, and I could just say, I don't care because I've never met a Muslim, but you can't just have that luxury.
It isn't, well, have the luxury of what?
Just picking and
Am I
choosing
saying
what's
don't let them
important to
in,
you?
don't make them Americans? Am I in any way what I'm saying putting their lives in danger? No, it's not the same.
By forcing them to use a bathroom that doesn't coincide with the way that they feel, it does put them in danger.
And what does that do? It does put them in danger either way.
How so?
Either way.
How does it put them in danger the other way?
If you're a woman who identifies as a man,
right,
and you go into the bathroom, and most of the time, it's not like you don't know. You can tell that you're not really a woman or you're not really a man. Mm-hmm. That doesn't put someone in danger by getting their ass kicked while they're in the bathroom. I have 4 girls. I don't know how I feel about a man using the bathroom with my daughters. It's
not a man, it's a woman.
And it makes me uncomfortable. And what if that makes my daughters uncomfortable? My daughters don't have a right to say this is
so
odd
your daughters
and I'm uncomfortable?
Your daughters would feel more comfortable being in the bathroom with Chaz Bono?
It's weird.
They feel more comfortable with Chaz Bono being in the bathroom?
It's weird.
They feel more comfortable being in the bathroom with a transgender man?
No,
they wouldn't. Or how how would Javier's son feel if Caitlyn, a 6 foot tall woman, walks into the bathroom and and uses the bathroom with his son? That's more weird.
I'm not saying like repeal it. Oh my god. I'm saying I feel weird about it. I don't know. I feel like I'm being attacked. I feel weird about it. I'm sorry you disagree.
And that's fine. You're entitled to feel weird when you don't have the information about the entire subject. I'm trying to put that nicely.
I disagree.
You haven't researched it.
Why?
Right?
No.
You haven't. You listened to Milo talk about it. You have not researched it from a real, true transgender person. So it's hard for you to see their side when you haven't talked to their side.
I don't. Yeah.
Just like we say, it's hard for us to see the Republican side or the Trump voter side because we haven't researched it, right? I haven't. So I find it very hard to understand what the fuck they're talking about. Just like you find it very hard. When I first saw Caitlyn, I saw what was going on. I was like, this is fucking weird. I don't get it. But she did all those interviews, and then I did a bunch of research on my own about the situation.
Did you?
Yeah, I really did. Because I was like, why does she want to do this? Why is this the case? Yeah, Laverne Cox too. Like, why are you doing? What is this? And once you do the research, you understand what these people go through. You understand this is not a choice. This is something that they are born with, and I respect it. And whatever rights that I'm afforded, I think they should be afforded.
I think this is something. I think it's like she's like what gay people were in the 80s and 90s. I think this is just like it's. I honestly do believe it. Not bragging, not picking on you because you're older, nothing like that. It is a generational thing. To Nolan, to my children, it is going to be a norm to see transgender people. Right now, it is such a taboo thing. It's so weird for people that tend to be older because they've never seen it. They think it's weird. They think it's not right. They think they're just making this shit up. They think they just want to be in the fucking girls' bathroom just because they want to go and peep on girls.
No, I don't think that at all.
Okay. Then I am completely wrong. Disregard what I said.
So what's your concern then?
No, what I said was I don't think that they're trying to peep on my daughters. I think it makes me uncomfortable, and I think it's weird. That's what I said.
It's just weird to you?
It is weird.
But you're going to let them go to the bathroom.
It's just weird.
Like, you're okay. So if Caitlyn is using the women's bathroom, you're not going to be like...
I'm not going to go to a fucking protest to stop it.
Get the fuck out of here,
No, I'm
Caitlyn.
saying it's weird and it makes me uncomfortable.
Okay.
I'm not allowed to say that?
Oh, no, that's fine.
Yeah, that's
I think
cool.
we were just misunderstanding. Like, you were like, get the fuck out of my bathroom. But you're not saying that. You're like, no.
I never would said that.
It's a little weird you're in here, Caitlyn, but I'm going to let you go ahead and pee.
I feel like Milo right now.
Lift the seat, bro.
Me for the sake of fighting me. I never said that. I said it's weird and it makes me uncomfortable.
Alrighty, well, thank you for listening to today's episode of We Three People.
Intense.
An interesting one. What do you guys think? Please comment below. Let us know. We're definitely going to be not talking for the next few days. Once again, please, if you guys want your own theme song, check out Julio, fiverr.com/HulioG25.
How much money did this kid give us?
A lot. Thousands.
He's also pro-transgender, so we want to help him out. Because that's the right thing to do. Any closing thoughts, everybody? Thank you guys for listening.
Peace.
We, the people.